Coming up next on Get Caught in a Net.
You are now tuned in to Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette, where your host, Annette Harris, analyze intriguing life questions and concerns, such as, do Christians suffer from mental illness? Have you wondered why they act abnormal? Or you may ask, what is really going on in their minds? Do you need Annette? Well, keep listening for a biblical understanding of the psychology of the mind.
Great afternoon, guys. Welcome to another wonderful segment of Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette. I'm your host, your girl, Annette Harris. I am also the CEO of Get Caught in a Net Incorporated, your certified mental health ambassador, and a two-time award-winning author of that bestseller, Surviving a Silenced Heartbeat. Listen, guys, I'm so excited to be here. It is another Wednesday. We are excited because we're going to feature Dr. Shirley Hill, Mofave Nutritional Services, for our health and wellness segment. We're going to do it a week early. We normally do it, remember, every fourth Wednesday, but we've moved it up a week to coordinate with her schedule, and I'm excited. But before we get started, Lord, we thank you for all things. We are so excited for what you're doing, what you're going to do. There's so many things that are happening, oh God, but you are using us to get your word across, oh God. And we pray that you will get the glory out of our lives and everything we go to say and do. In Jesus' name we pray and we thank you. The opening part of Hosea 4:6 states, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. And again, we're glad to be here on this afternoon. It seems as if, now, I don't know if many of you remember last month, we were trying to get Dr. Hill on. So this topic title may seem, you may remember it because that's what we were going to talk about on last month. But we have her here on this afternoon. We'll just say technology happened last month, okay? But we're here today. Let's bring her in and chat with her on today. I'm so excited to have you here. So excited. If you all knew the behind the scenes, the BTS to get today, you would you would be amazed. But I do want to encourage you before we get into our conversation on today to go ahead and click the share button. Tag individuals directly into this live feed if you would not mind doing that for us. You can also throw up the thumbs up, the heart, the care button. Now, don't go throwing up that mean face now. We don't need that today, okay? If the word, what my cousin used to always say, if the word is right, if it fit or something, I don't know. If it fit, just put the shoe on. We just want to do what's right. We just want to do what's right. And we are so grateful that every month we're able to hear from this woman of God because we need it. We definitely need it. And I know we need it. You may not think you need it. You may not tell me you need it, but you calling her up. I know you need it. But this is good. So we're going to talk today about, are you transforming your food that is medicine into poison? But let me first ask she's my good friend. How are you doing on today?
I'm doing well, thank you. I am doing extremely well since we are here on this live.
They don't even know, do they, Dr. Hill? They don't even know. They don't know.
No.
But I'm grateful that God has blessed us to be able to. we were working behind the scenes. We were doing some stuff, but God was working as well, and He knew what needed to get out.
Yes.
So I see you guys joining in, and I do appreciate it again. Many of you may watch us live, and you may come back and watch the recorded session, which is just fine. Go ahead again and just make sure you share this live feed out because We want everyone to understand what this topic title is. And she's getting ready to talk to us about it. She's going to tell us, I always ask her background, and I hope she remember what is, even though this was last month, that I hopefully she'll remember where this background came from. Are you transforming your food? It's really deep. That is medicine. Your food is medicine. So are you transforming that into poison? How do we come up with this, Dr. Hill?
Oh, Lord. You know what? I talk with so many people, and the first thing a lot of them say is, I eat a lot of vegetables.
That's true. They sure
Yeah.
do.
They say, I eat a lot of vegetables and fruit, because they think one apple, maybe one banana a week is a lot or sufficient. And then they think because they, have some carrots, some broccoli, so forth and so on their plate, along with a big old piece of meat. We feel like, and then of course some starch, and then we feel like that we have done our duty.
Right.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the vegetables are always cooked. They are always cooked, and so that that food that you have cooked, with all of those enzymes in them, because broccoli is a powerhouse.
Right.
And so anything that is in that family is a powerhouse. And then, of course, carrots, this for the eyes and all of that. And that color that has that carotenoid in it. And so the the plate at first sight, it looks like it is a well balanced, healthy, power packed dinner. But then when you look at it sometimes, so I laugh and I say, well, you could have just raked that on in the garbage. You could have
Right.
put that in the, and they say, but why? Once you cook vegetables, they have no enzymes in them. They're destroyed at 102 degrees. And if it has no enzymes, it has become a junk food, because that's why you're eating them. And that's what they were made for. And so you might as well, rake them right on in the garbage. And 1 or 2 pieces of fruit a week. You need 14. You need 14 raw fruits and vegetables. So 1 or 2 a week is not going to give you what you need, not even anywhere near what you need.
Yeah.
So that's just one example.
Okay, good. I have a quick question. You mentioned about the 14. That's per day though, right?
That's per day.
Okay.
Did I say something different?
No.
14 a day.
You said 14, but then you're mentioning, as opposed to just saying I have I took an apple or whatever.
Yeah.
This day or whatever. Okay.
Thank you for correcting that. Okay. 14 a day. It's supposed to have 14 a day. And when you say that, most people catch their breath, because they cannot imagine having 14 raw fruits and vegetables a day. Well, what you need the most are the vegetables, because they have the minerals in there. And so then that fruit is going to give you a good energy. I give a good example. Dr. Hunt, we were some conference, something that he was doing. I think he had probably preached about 3 times that day. And I saw the energy just drain.
Wow.
I just saw he had just stepped up and put to the pulpit. And I just saw it. It just went away. It just went away. And I told their nurse, I said, I pulled the orange out of my purse. And I said, I need you to go make a hot cup of water and squeeze this whole orange in that cup of water and take him that drink. And
Wow.
so he saw me, he saw me because if he sees that I sent it, then it doesn't matter that he doesn't like it and it tastes horrible. He'll go ahead on and drink it.
That's good.
And so he took it, he drank it, and when I kid you not, when I tell you that his energy immediately, he was immediately energized. And he was like, what was in that cup? He said, I tasted orange. I said, and that's all that was in there, some hot water and an orange. And he just, the energy went up and he just preached. Well, it was that the type of sugar that is in the fruit,
Mm-hmm.
the type of sugar that is made to energize the physical body and give it what it needs. But we eat too much of the other sugar, and I'll talk about that in a minute. We have, so then it's easy to get that 14 raw because you do a couple of salads and a smoothie, you got your 14 raw. And then if you want to put some more, I always say, do a cup of beans next to, with it, or lentils or whatever, because it's in our mind, a salad is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
A salad's just not going to be enough.
Yeah.
But so then put a cup of lentils or a cup of beans or a salmon piece of fish with it, or put some black rice, or, build your meal, but build it on real food. Because another thing we do now that we are so busy, we make our meals in the microwave.
Mm.
Yeah,
Convenience.
and I always say, well, what's faster than raw? What's quicker and more convenient than raw? And so we take these meals and we pop them in the microwave. The meal, it is already started with a deficit because it's frozen and in a box. And so then we take this out of the freezer and then we put it in the microwave and then we nuke it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that radiation, it may take a little bit longer because they say, who knows? We certainly don't know
Right.
how much radiation is coming out of that machine. We definitely know that it changes the structure of the food, and that the change that takes place in that food makes it deadly to the body. And maybe some of the audience has heard me tell the story because it's one of my favorite. I'm gonna see if I can find another one, but until then, this one works, and that is the young lady that had an operation, and it was a minor operation, and of course, they had taken her blood out, and they, removed the blood, performed the operation. And then they went to give her the blood transfusion to put the blood back into the body. Well, they gave it to a nurse. I don't know if she was new. I don't know what was on her mind. She took that blood and popped it in the microwave. Yeah, she popped that blood in the microwave that quick. Took that blood back in there. They transfused that blood back into that young woman's body, and that blood killed her on the table. Now, the operation had been a success.
Oh my God.
It had been a success. But the microwave destroys, number one, the microwave destroys the white blood cells. And so the food the food that you eat that comes out of the microwave, it destroys your white blood cells, which means it destroys your immune system.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't afford that now with, okay, I'm gonna have to stop saying this because I'm sure it's way more than this little 12 variants that I've been talking about for about 2 months now.
Mm.
And so we've got, the last time I looked, we had 12 COVID variants, next generations. And then we had the RSV, and then we had the polio that has risen, and now we have the measles that are also rising, and we have the pneumonia, and
Mm.
we have the colds, and you can go on and on and on. Really,
Right.
we can't afford for the immune system not to be functioning. We can't afford not to have the white blood cells. We cannot afford it because they do all the work of the immune system.
Mm-hmm.
And so, along with some other B cells and those other kind of things. But our food, what we don't realize is that our food can either be our it can either be a weapon against us or a weapon for us.
Ooh.
Mhm. It can either fight disease, it can either destroy all of these agents and these entities that I just named. The body makes a vaccine against them. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter which one it is. So if it's polio, bacteria, not the virus, not a virus, but the polio bacteria, then the body will make a polio interferon to destroy the polio bacteria.
Right.
And then if it's cancer, it will make cancer interferons to destroy the cancer. If it is any of these Omicron descendants, the immune system will make, and it is just amazing how that works. And it is the reasons why we used to have immunity.
Mm.
And the reason why we don't have immunity now.
Right.
Yeah, because the immune system is not working like it should. And so what we have done is, well, not us, but manufacturers have weaponized, they have weaponized our food, or what we call food. The food stuff that we eat has been weaponized.
Wait a minute. Did you say the food stuff?
Yeah, the foods, that the stuff that we call food.
Wow.
It has been weaponized against us. And
That
so,
is so deep. And
yeah,
so basically, I mean, all that you said, this is how you kind of came around to this title. Because you first
yeah,
started talking about how we always say, oh, I eat my fruit and
yeah,
vegetables.
yeah.
But
I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables.
right. But a
I
lot of
just,
times, like you said, they're cooked, they're not raw,
yeah,
and which would give us our nutrients and everything that we need in our body.
yeah,
Wow. Okay. This is deep. Listen, guys, if you're just not joining us, you haven't missed much. We're talking today with Dr. Shirley Hill a week earlier than our regular monthly health and wellness segment. And I do see you guys coming on here, and I appreciate you. We're talking today about, are you transforming your food that is medicine? Are you transforming that into poison? So we have to, let's take heed to what she's saying on today. I do want to acknowledge a few people that have come in. I appreciate you. I see Eileen Moore. Thank you so much. She says blessings on today. Here, let me do it from here so you guys can see their comments. She says blessings, thanks so much. Janice Pritchard, thank you, appreciate you. She says good afternoon, liked and shared. Thank you so much for doing that for us. And hi, you know what? I'm going to get back. I don't know how to pronounce your name correctly. Nurjahan. Thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate you for joining us. And I have to get back to you. There's a message I need to get back to you. So thanks for coming in on today. Also, let's see. I saw some other Nikki Nicole. She says, blessings, Annette and Dr. Hill. Thank you for coming in. Mother Whitfield, I believe, she says, blessings to us. And Apostle Miles says, blessings to all. Listen, I do want to say this real quick. I appreciate you, mothers and your apostles, coming in here on today. I thank you for that. The saints are here. They're here on today. But again, this is again a topic of discussion that we need to have, and I am encouraging you all again, when you come in, please go ahead and share this live feed out. Tag individuals. You can do it directly into the comment section, and then also throwing up the emojis, the heart, the care, and the thumbs up. What will happen when you do that is you're pushing this out, and it'll remind people. So whether or not they're watching it live or they come back and watch it later, they will be able to see and hear what God is saying through Dr. Hill. So oh my goodness, the food that we're eating. Dr. Hill just said, she said the stuff, that food stuff, or what they're calling food.
The
So
stuff they're calling food.
right. And we can pretty much know exactly, what she's referencing, or maybe not. She can explain it to us. I always tell you guys on these days when we have health and wellness, if you have questions about the topic of discussion at hand or any other health and wellness related, please make sure you throw it into the comment section. I see a lot of you have tagged individuals, maybe because they need it, maybe they have questions. I don't know. But go ahead and throw it in there. And what we'll do is make sure to try and address it before we exit on today. So where do you want to go from here, Dr. Hill, when you talking about I can't get off that food stuff. I don't know if you want I don't know if you want to start there, because I mean, again, we're talking about food, transforming our food. So what do you want to say about that?
Well, I want to do a little commercial right here for those of you that are going on the fast at sundown tonight. You have lunch. This is lunchtime, and then you have dinner before that sundown. Don't try to eat everything that you are not going to eat for the next 7 days or the next 3 days or however long you feel that you will be on this fast. In the old days, I remember what we used to do is we would try to eat everything. Okay, I'm not going to have any ice cream for the next 7 days. I'm not going to have a hamburger for the next 7 days. I'm not going to have French fries for the next 7 days. I'm not going to have any of my favorite things for the next 7 days. So I'm just going to have a half of a chicken wing, those type of things. Don't do it. Don't do it, because you're going on this fast, and whatever you put in your body, the only thing you should put in your body is something that is raw, because this is still your period of preparation. Right. And that will help you. So let's say you haven't quite had an evacuation for these 7 days that you have been on this period. If you have done wrong, then sometime before those 7 days are over, you will have an evacuation, because those enzymes that are tearing down and destroying bacteria, viruses, cancer cells, old, worn out tissues, organs, and cells, it has to evacuate it. It has to get it out of the body. So then that has been placed in your body, that did not evacuate the week before on the preparation, then it will go with the other stuff that has been torn down and torn apart and all of that. It will be evacuated with the rest. But if you put a hamburger, some French fries, some rice, any of those things, let me just say it this way, any cooked foods, any popped in the microwave food, any of that stuff. And what is that fryer, that air fryer? I see that there's a new one now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a new one, and that does a few other fancy things along with what it's the reason that they got you to buy it before. Those air fryers, you in your mind, you say, there is no oil in there, there is no fat in there, there's none of those things. And so then the fact that it is being cooked with heat is makes it healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not true,
Mm-hmm.
because it is the heat that forms the acrylamides in the meat and in the starches that form the acrylamides, and acrylamides cause cancer. And so you're lulled into a false sense of whatever that next word is supposed to be.
You're being lured the wrong way.
You're being lured. But
Wow.
it is the heat. It's not the oil. It's not the fat. And yes, there is bad oil and fat that will turn rancid and do the same thing, cause cancer or cause heart disease, attack the brain, the kidneys, and the liver. Yes, there are. But that does not make those air fryers, it doesn't make it healthier, because there is no oil or fat in it. The culprit is the heat. And
Mm.
so think about it this way. Uh, Green tea is green. Uh, so is coffee beans. They are green. But when you heat them, they become dark, darker, and darkest. And
Right.
so then, yeah, your green tea, you look in your cup and it's a brown tea, but the
Mm-hmm.
name of it is a green tea.
Right.
Then, and your coffee, you like it dark roasted. All right. The more heat, the farther away it is from that green, the more it goes towards cancer causing agent and away from all of the nutrients, all of those health benefits that you have read and seen. That's in the green coffee bean. That is not in those beans that have been roasted and have become dark.
Right.
Yeah, and so we're being deceived. We're being what is it? Uh Hoodwinked.
Yeah.
His name said, we being hoodwinked, and whatever those other two words are, that's what we are being, and that's what we have been, and it's so easily done. And
Right.
so yeah, so then we are. It's like we have acclimated to the seedless fruit. They this It's almost impossible now to find fruit that has seeds in
Mm.
it, because the seedless fruit is more convenient. You don't have to worry about getting all of these seeds in your mouth, in your teeth. You don't have to worry about spitting them out. You don't have to worry about taking them out of the fruit if you're going to, if you want to make a juice or make something with them. It's just more convenient to
Right.
have uh, pardon me, I heard something that sounded not quite safe out there out my window. I wanted to know if I needed to
Okay.
call the police.
Okay. All right.
The seeds needed, the seeds, how can I say this? The seeds regulate sugar.
Mm.
And so a diabetic should never eat a seedless fruit. Not ever,
Wow.
because it has nothing to regulate that sugar that is in that fruit. And
Wow.
yeah,
That's I just learned that. I didn't know that. So you said seeds regulate the sugar.
sugar. Yeah,
I mean, I'm always looking for seeded
yes,
uh fruits and vegetables,
yeah, yeah.
cucumbers or, tomatoes or whatever. I'm always looking for
Mhm.
the seed, but I didn't realize that it
Yeah.
regulates the sugar. Hmm.
Everything, every part of a whole food has a purpose. So now let me show you. You know, the lemons and the limes and the grapefruits and the oranges and all of them, we have what I like to call that white underwear that is between the skin and then between the meat that's on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
So then that that right there, we throw it away. You know, we throw it away.
Mm-hmm.
But what it does is it strengthens the veins, the capillaries, and the arteries.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we have, we take it and we throw it away.
Right.
Take it and we throw it away. Or we take these foods and we become uh, connoisseur chefs.
Mm.
Uh, and we do all of these beautiful and creative things with them, and we're destroying nope. There you go. Thank you so much, Nikki Nicole. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you. Yeah, we become all creative and we become all this, that, and the other, and we destroy all of the enzymes, because just because it's a fruit, it doesn't mean that it goes together with another fruit or with a vegetable, because the enzymes might be contradictive against one another.
Right.
And so that,
Ah.
yeah. Now, you know what we do in church, especially with the summer coming. We make these watermelon boats
Mm.
and throw all of the melons in there: cantaloupe, honeydew melon, the red balls of the watermelon, and none of them have the seeds anymore. Maybe the watermelon is seedless, and this, that, and the other. And then we throw some other fruit in there, some grapes, and all of that kind of stuff. And then all of that just needs to be flushed down the toilet.
Because they're working against each other.
They're working against each other, and they're pretty much toxic, because then see, now you go home and you have these digestive problems for days, and you don't know why you had these digestive problems. And you have, we used to call it GERS, it is now called acid reflux. Is that what they call it now, or did I miss a couple of years or something? Acid reflux,
Yeah. When
uh,
it's coming.
sleep apnea.
Oh,
Sleep
sleep
apnea.
apnea. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that's
caused by the acid reflux, because you've put uh, all of these foods together that don't go together. The enzymes work against one another. You've got indigestion. Is basically what you have. But of course, we give it this fancy name because you can't go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So you're
Mm-hmm.
up all night, and so now they're testing you. They're having you come into these special sleep apnea labs and all of this kind of stuff. And there's nothing wrong with you, but that you turned your food into a toxic poison.
Wow. And then
Yeah.
you'll say, well, all I had was fruit.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. Because you know me. The first thing I'm going to ask you is, what did you eat? And then, and you, sometimes I'll get what does that have to do with anything?
Has so much to do with everything, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And so and I really dread the barbecue season, spring.
I'm sure.
You know, so you know, I say the same thing about Thanksgiving, Christmas, and the New Year, because the hospital is just full of those that are having these reactions because of the Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year parties and holidays. And
Right.
so we don't take into consideration the people that are at our table that have high blood pressure.
It's true.
You know, we don't take into consideration those that have diabetes. We don't take into consideration those that have like I just said, the veins, the arteries, and the capillaries. So then that that's our thoroughfare that the blood and water flows through. And
Mhm.
so we don't take into consideration that somebody might have a blockage. That pain in their leg, that pain in their leg that they're feeling through the night, and they when they wake up in the morning and they cannot get rid of that pain may very well be a blockage.
Mm. Ooh, okay. Can you stick a pin in that? I need
Yes,
to I need to ask you to hop back. You did your little commercial break about the fast. Can you
yes,
explain? Because everybody is not aware of that fast. Everybody's not on there because people be watching from all over. But maybe
okay,
you can just kind of tell a little bit more about that,
yeah,
and stalk call and all of that in the association.
okay. Well, Sakal, Lord Jesus, I can't tell all of that. The Sakal goes.
No, I mean just so they'll know, because when they hear say, okay, if you're going on this fast, and somebody's like, I'm not going on the fast, but just tell them what you're talking about. That's all.
We there are this is our week of a 7-day fast. So today is the first day for the 7-day fast. It begins at sundown. So it doesn't matter what your sundown is. It may not be my sundown, but whatever, wherever you are, wherever whenever your sun goes down, that's the beginning of the fast. And so we are fasting for 7 days. This is not an intermittent fast. So we're not fasting from 6 o'clock in the morning until lunchtime or until 7 or 8 at night or whatever. It's a water fast. And
Hmm.
it's a complete fast is what it is. And so it is the fast that activates autophagy. And so autophagy is that what I just talked about, when the body is getting collecting and getting rid of all of the deteriorating, degenerating, all of that stuff in the body that is of no more use. Well, that on autophagy, um, all of that is torn down, osteo tissue, your bony tissue. If it is degenerative and you've got arthritis and you have these kind of problems, all of that is torn down, that they can be reused to rebuild your new bony structure. Then it will be put aside so that it can be used. So then um, autophagy is a recycling process.
Hmm.
It is destroying and evacuating the old, at the same time building new. And
Okay.
is there more? Should I go on?
Well, now what's the purpose of this fast?
This fast, it's the spiritual and natural,
Okay.
because that's what the Bible says in Isaiah 58. It says that your it says that God will be your real reward, that he'll be a whole lot of things that you will get spiritually, but then he also says, and your health will spring forth speedily. So the before the fast, let's say you're going on a 3-day fast, and it should be at least a 3-day fast, because on the third day, that's when the immune system is reset. Um, so then if you were going on a 3-day fast, you would prepare for 3 days.
Hmm.
And the only things that you would put in your body would be your raw foods. It will be your raw fruits and vegetables, and your clean water, or your smoothies, or your that kind of thing, whatever falls under raw foods.
Hmm.
And so
Okay.
that's kind of
Okay, good. Now, thank you for clarifying that, because I know some people are watching, and maybe they want to participate, or just so they will know what you were referring to. Nikki Nicole had she said she has been drinking fresh carrots and ginger juice,
Mhm.
and she has a one last salad and soup before 6 p.m. She's going to have one last salad and soup before 6. Thank you for that. And thank you, Janice, for placing the information about the prayer and fasting with Saul Call and Dr. Hunt and Behind the Veil. begins this evening. So it's in the comment section. I'm just flashing it on the screen right now. If you guys want to participate, and along with hopefully, maybe even for the hour of prayer each day that they have in the feeding of God's word as it has here. If you want to, hop on, then reach out. There are a few people on here. Janice is one of them that you can get the information for the Zoom link. Um, I've done it a few times with them. They normally have fasting kind of throughout the year at different points. And Dr. Hunt, you've known that he has been on Mind, Body, and Soul a number of times. Great man of God, and I trust the God in him. So if you all want to participate, there's information there. I know Janice will be more than willing to help you, and also I think Nikki might be able to help. There's some more individuals on here. But yeah, this is going to be it's going to be great. We're going to jump back into our conversation with Dr. Hill. But just as an FYI, you can always also send an email to behindtheveil0720 @gmail.com to get the link for the daily, I'll call them daily services that they're going to have during this fast.
Services.
So you can reach out to them, and they will be glad to give you the information to hop on. And thanks for allowing us to do that little commercial break. All right. Amina Scott, thanks for coming in. I appreciate you. And I think I see my cousin on Sky's Lyrical has joined us. Thank you. Thank you for coming in on today. Any other names that I did not call up, please forgive me. Oh, Cheryl Lovelace. I call her my cousin too. Thanks for coming in. I'm not sure if you're still there or not, but make sure you guys tag individual, share, love, throw up the thumbs up, and all of that. Give us all the good stuff, okay? The good stuff. Dr. Hill says that, or her question to each of you, and this is something you can reflect on, whether you want to comment in the comment section, ask her a question about it, or anything else health and wellness related. Today's topic: are you transforming your food that is medicine into poison? And if you're doing that, why are you doing that? No. Okay. Go ahead, Dr. Hill. You can Dr. Hill know me by now. Y'all should know me by now. Okay, so where are we going with this further?
I kind of want to talk about what it is that we put on our tables that we call food, and how we prepare it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then the things, you'll see why I say food stuff. Okay, because remember we have that little turnstile up in our cabinet in the kitchen. And that little turnstile has all of those little, what we call seasonings and spices.
Mm-hmm.
And but what we don't realize is that they also have aluminum in them, and aluminum causes cancer. They also have in them MSG, monosodium glutamate, which is a brain poison. And they also have in them anti-caking agents. That's why you can keep shaking them out of those little shakers, and they haven't hardened so that you can't use them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so then when we're preparing our meals, we may actually be preparing something that's healthy, like a bag of beans, black-eyed peas, lentils. All of those are just excellent. We may throw an onion in there. We may throw a garlic in there. And then we put all of this poison up in there because we, in our minds, our tongues have become accustomed to that toxic poison and the taste of that toxic poison. And so we just now turned our pot of beans, our pot of lentils, our pot of whatever, we've just turned them into a toxic weapon of warfare.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We do the same thing with,
I was going to ask a quick question, and I know we've talked about seasonings on here before.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you're saying that when you are seasoning your meals, or your beans or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
that you should not use what's in, would you say plastic, paper? And what did I say?
Boxes, bottles, and cans.
Boxes, bottles, and cans. Thank you.
Mhm.
So, because you're saying that they have what could cause the cancer in it, they have the anti-caking agents in there. So, is that every seasoning, or yeah, is it every seasoning that you're referring to?
Well, no, let me say this. In my mind, the only seasoning that does not have it is the one that I make in my kitchen. And that is, so I dry my celery leaves. And when they get dry, I
Oh,
to powder. And then I put them in that jar that I have thrown out that seasoning with. So
okay.
then, and it's salty, but yet it doesn't have all of that you have to worry about from the
Yeah.
salt that you purchase in the store. And so those seasonings, my question is, why are we using them? It doesn't make any sense to me. We use onion powder, garlic powder. What's wrong with the onion, and what's wrong with the garlic seasoning?
It goes back to convenience.
Oh,
Because what you just said about what you do in your kitchen, you take your celery leaves, you do whatever, and make it out of it. You put it in the back in the bottle that you threw the
mhm.
what was in there out of. So that's not convenient, especially for working folks. And they're like, I got to do it, whatever. So
It's
here I
gonna
go in my
take
cabinet, here. I'm
take
just saying, I'm
maybe
sure it's
5
probably convenient.
minutes. You know what? I'm going to say this. Can I use another word for convenience?
Okay, okay.
Wicked and slowful, trifling and
Lord Jesus. Y'all make sure y'all come back to Mind, Body, and Soul next week. The views and opinions that are expressed. No, let me say. Go ahead, Dr. No, I get it. I get it.
yeah,
But
because we have just well, we're we're the sickest nation on the planet.
mm-hmm.
Now we have to ask ourselves, or we should ask ourselves, why?
Right.
And then we have babies that are having surgery before their ninth month of pregnancy. We have doctors that are going in 6 weeks of pregnancy, or let me see, am I saying 6 weeks? Because it's only 40 weeks. And so, in that baby hasn't been in the womb, it has not been in the womb for 6 months. But the doctor's got to go, it has to go in and remove that baby from the womb
Mm-hmm.
and perform surgery, and then place that baby back in the womb and let that baby heal and thrive in that mother. Why is it that baby, why would that baby have to, when so I'm 74 years old, right? When I was born,
You look great.
thank you very much. You love me. I do know that. I love that. So you love me. I can't let that go to my head. um, when I was born, I weighed 1 pound and 9 ounces. That's a Coke bottle. No, that's what used to be a Coke bottle.
Mhm.
Those little Coke bottles. And so uh, I had all my 10 fingers and 10 toes, because that's what the nurse would say, look for. Mother, did you unwrap your baby and make sure they had 10 fingers and 10 toes?
Wow.
And so I had everything I was supposed to have. Now, mind you, I was a preemie. I was born at 7 months. I was born 2 months early, but I had everything that I was supposed to have.
I could see you as a preemie. That's not surprising to me. But go ahead.
See, I don't know if are you trying to, what do they say? Nah, I can't even say it. So let me leave that alone.
I'm sending love. Y'all see I'm sending love. That's fine.
um, they sent me home. They
Mm.
sent me home on a pillow. I never had a problem. The only time I went to the hospital is to have 4 babies.
Wow.
And the one time I do remember being, no, I was sick twice in all of my years before I got married and after. That was it. I was sick twice. And it was once, I don't know, I was a little bitty something, so I must have been maybe 4 or 5, like that.
Hmm.
And I had a fever and an infection so high and so bad until I remember my mother grabbing me up and running me down the street and around the corner to the apothecary. Now that's someone that uses herbs and all of those things to mix up drinks and
Mm-hmm.
all of that kind of stuff. And that woman gave me something. It was the nastiest thing I ever tasted. And went back home, went to sleep, woke up, and went outside playing. And so on my wedding night, I had been running so. And this was the night before my wedding. I had been up all night long making my mother-in-law's dress and the little girl's dress and all of this kind of stuff. So I had been up all night. I woke up sick. When I tell you I was sick, just like I was when I was a little girl. His mother, my ex-husband's mom, she went out on that back porch. She picked some stuff that whatever it was she was growing out there. I can't tell you what all she was growing out there, but that's okay. We don't need to know all that. I hope he's not watching because he would kill me. But she made me this concoction.
Mm-hmm.
It was the nastiest thing I had ever. You heard Apostle talking about my Brussels sprouts and string beans. Oh, it would have, compared to that, it would have been that tasted like regurgitation. It tasted like something somebody regurgitated and then gave it to me to drink again.
Wow.
And Lord, I drank it. I was so sick. I drank it. And I think my wedding was that night. No, it was the next day. My wedding was the next day. I drank that stuff, laid down on the couch, was asleep for about an hour or two. When I woke up, you never would have known I was sick.
Really?
Never would have known. And it was the same way when I was a little bitty girl. She gave me that to drink. I drank it, went home. My mama put me to sleep, laid me down. When I woke up, I was on my way outside to play.
Wow. Okay.
So that was my extent of sickness. And so, yeah.
So we can't be lazy. Is that the moral of the story?
The moral of the story is convenience will help you die.
Whoa.
Convenience will shorten your lifespan. And so just like with the fruit that doesn't have seeds, we like it because it's more convenient. We think it's more convenient.
Right.
We go through the way we prepare our meals. We get things out of boxes, bottles, and cans. Okay, canned goods, they have a fungicide in them. They have a fungicide, bactericide in those cans. How is it that you think something in a dark, moist place does not get bacteria or fungus in it?
That don't even sound right.
Right, it doesn't sound right. This has been in your pantry. It's been there longer than you can remember.
Yeah.
And then when you get in a tight and you in a rush, you run in there and grab that can, that can, that can, that can, that can. And then that's those things that we call seasonings off that turnstile.
Mm-hmm.
And then instead of using onions and garlic, we use onion powder, garlic powder that's got the aluminum, the MSG, and all of that in there. And we have if it ever was food, we have just turned it into it as now, instead of being causing our bodies to be a weapon against disease and disorder. It is now, we have changed it into, we have weaponized it against the body.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've got these headaches. We can't get rid of them. We walk around with what we call these migraine headaches, and it's what we're putting in these pots and pans and so forth and so on, that's attacking the brain.
Right.
And so but you can't get us to eat raw fruits and vegetables. It's just a salad and a couple of smoothies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 2 salads and a smoothie. Let me change that.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, and juicing is good as well.
Juicing is very good, and I'm glad you brought that up, because the worse the condition, the more you need juicing. Because the juicing, if you start with a food that has enzymes in them, then juicing is straight enzymes. It's straight enzymes, because what you have done is you have separated the enzymes from the fiber. You have released it from the fiber.
Right.
And so then what you're drinking is pure enzymes, and it works fast. It works fast against whatever that condition is and whatever. So I recommend juicing for anyone that has an advanced condition.
Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for addressing that, because that's so important. Because some people, they get a little, I don't know, mixed up or whatever. But I do see a lot of people are depending upon juicing, whether or not they have a serious condition or not. And I think that's actually an easy way. Here we go with that convenience again. That's an easy way to get all those enzymes and into you, as opposed to sitting down at the table and eating.
But now remember again, you have to be combining those foods properly.
True.
Because if you're not combining it, and that's what, this is something that I have against social media.
Mm-hmm.
Because people that have no inkling of what food does, what it does not do, and what it can adversely do to the body, they're on social media cooking and preparing stuff and throwing it together and becoming experts in this area. And I'm looking, and they're putting all the wrong foods together.
Right.
Stuff that should not even be in the same room, let alone on the same dinner plate.
That's true.
Yeah.
So you really have to do your research. You
You do.
can't just throw all kind of, because it may be working against you. I know I have a friend of mine who what is it, the vitamin K or something, it works against whatever is going. Maybe I'm saying that wrong, but there's certain vegetables that she cannot, because of what's eat, that there are certain things going on within her body. You probably remember who I'm talking about. I won't mention her name on the air, but yeah, so that's something to look at. Let me look at a few comments real quick. Shauna, thanks for coming on. And she says, yes, there is a process. Apostle Miles says, my daughter, Apostle Sabrina, was premature. She was 7 months. Oh, okay. Didn't know that. Okay. When you were talking about that concoction that they were giving you when you were a baby and when you were about to get married, that is interesting. Those are some 2 interesting times. That just hit me. When you were a baby, and then when you get married. Okay, it might be looked at a little bit further. That's just that psychology mind going in. So don't mind that right now.
You just got a message, didn't you?
I did. All right. And then Nikki says, thank you for mentioning apothecary. I needed clarification that it's safe. Okay.
So I need you to elaborate a little bit, because it depends upon what your opinion of what your definition of an apothecary is, and then Are they knowledgeable, or are they just calling themselves an apothecary?
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, Nikki, if you can give that clarification, whether you want to do it here or hit Dr. Hill up directly, it's strictly up to you. She just
Mhm.
wants to make sure that you're on the same page, or the right page, should I say. Nikki also made a comment. I noticed the difference in juicing fresh veggies and fruits. It seems like my body absorbs it quicker and I can feel the boost of energy too.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So is that opposed to frozen? Is
Oh,
that opposed
that's, that's a
to
good follow-up question. Nikki, is that opposed to frozen? Because you did say fresh.
Mhm.
Because I even when I do my smoothies, I'm doing fresh fruits. I don't do the frozen, the strawberries or berries or something. I need them to be fresh.
Yeah.
That's just how I've always been. And then you were mentioning something about, and I'm hopping back, about cans. I haven't had purchased cans in probably 20 some years. I don't that
Yeah.
just didn't seem right to me. Like you said, you're in a dark, moist,
Mhm.
container. That
Yeah.
just doesn't seem right. But
That's where fungus grows.
right,
That's where fungus and bacteria grow. How is it that you can have a can of something in your pantry for 5 years
right.
and there is no fungus and there is no bacteria, and it is just as whatever it was when you bought that can? And then what we do is we pour the liquid off. We pour
Mm-hmm.
the liquid off, and then we put it in some water and cook it. Okay,
Yeah.
so what is pouring the liquid off? What is that done? Because it's in the bean, it's in the whatever product that was
Mm-hmm.
in that can, whatever was in that liquid is in that product. And so you're
That's true.
pouring off that liquid.
It's not
There
really
is
doing anything.
no, it's not going to do anything. And there's a fungicide, and there's a fungicide that's in there. There's an antibacterial agent in there, and all of that will shut your immune system down.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it shuts the immune system down. And then,
Right.
thank you, Nikki. I see you.
She says,
And then,
as opposed to frozen.
yeah, as opposed to full. I'm. That's why I wanted to clarify.
Good.
I can hit that. Thank you. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, and then we got several different cans sitting up on the counter, and then all of the other stuff sitting on the counter. And then we don't know the difference between GMO. We don't know the difference between genetically modified foods.
Mm-hmm.
And then that frozen fruits and whatever that we use. Well, when you take that frozen out of the refrigerator, out of the freezer, if you let it thaw, it's going to get mushy, right?
Mm-hmm.
That fruit, those berries, that whatever, it's going to be mushy. That is because the enzymes are dead. The
Yeah,
enzymes have been destroyed.
that
And so,
makes sense.
yeah, you just got a mushy mess, is what you got.
A mushy mess.
Yeah,
Oh wow, this is good. This is great. Thank you, Nikki, for your response about whether it's fresh or frozen. Listen, guys, again, if you have any other questions, comments, go ahead and throw it into the comments section. Make sure again you share this live feed. And I don't did I tell you where I was? I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know I'm on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, right? I know that, right? Okay. All right, so that when you come back in, you can watch it on either of those platforms. Let me read this comment, Dr. Hill, and then I want to ask you a question. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go to Nikki first. Forgive me. She says, I'm interested in learning how to make my own healing products using herbs from my garden. My understanding is that apothecary, hope I'm pronouncing that right, make healing products from garden herbs. Some people use it for bewitching rituals. I have no interest in that. So she was clarifying what
the
um,
question that I asked.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes, that falls under the head of apothecary. Although this woman was not, she falls under what she did, falls under uh, apothecary, but she was actually a the kind of before the drug industry decided to take over the medical industry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cheryl Lovelace, she says blood clot disorder when you are on Coumadin. You
Mhm.
cannot have green vegetables. That's what it was. Thank you. Romaine lettuce, green collards, mustard, and turnips because it works against the medicine vitamin K. Thank you. Wow. See, that's what I was trying to say about my friend.
Yeah.
So okay, thank you for clarifying that. See,
Thank
we
you
help us
so
one to
much.
another. That's so true.
Vitamin K is not a medicine. Vitamin K is a vitamin.
She probably meant to type vitamin. Sorry.
Well, most people, they do that. They call vitamins, they call them medicine.
Oh, okay.
It's not the vitamin that's the medicine. It's the food that the vitamin is in that is the
Mhm.
medicine. Uh, but we don't have a clarity in our mind as to what. See, because the difficulty is that you weren't eating the vitamin K foods before. What do you have? High blood pressure? You're on Coumadin because you have a, what is the blood clotting disorder, and does it involve high blood pressure? And Coumadin, nobody puts, you've been on, how long have you been on? Because they've stopped using Coumadin.
Mm, okay. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I'm not sure if she was referring to herself or she was just trying to clarify what I was saying.
No, I think she was referring to herself. I think she was. And I could be wrong. But let me say this in a universal sense. Vitamin K foods regulates the blood and its flow and its consistency. Eloquist. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Sounds
so
like she's using eloquist.
yeah. Okay. So I'm not gonna say, I'm gonna, let me zip my mouth about eloquence because that's not what I'm um but yeah, either one, uh the doctor's concern is not the blood clotting issue. The doctor's concern is that these foods thin the blood. They prevent the blood clotting issue. And if you had been eating them before you got the condition, then you would not have gotten the condition.
Okay.
So they tell us not to eat these foods, and the reason you should not is because they thin the blood, and they prevent the clotting, and so then they do not want you. You can bleed out. You can bleed out because then the blood is now too thin, and the other, all of that goes along with it, the veins and the capillaries and the integrity of them and so forth and so on. Well, the vitamin K foods, the cabbage, the all of that you named, all of those things regulate the clotting. They regulate blood clotting, they regulate blood flow, they regulate all of these things. And so if they were a part of, uh, in the amount that they should have been, if they had been a part of your diet, then then you would not have had the problem. And so now, instead of the doctor saying, change your diet, eat these foods, and I will wean you off the medication, because you're introducing these foods into your diet, they are going to begin to correct and regulate this condition, and you will no longer need the medication. No, what they tell you is, and I'm not against doctors, I work with doctors. I work with doctors. Anybody I work with, they'll tell you that one of the first things I ask them is, what does your doctor say, so forth and so on. And some doctors love me and some doctors hate me. So we'll just say it that way. But yes, what you should be is switched over to your change your diet to include the foods that regulate that blood clotting and that blood flow and the blood consistency, all of that. And your doctor should know, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing this with my diet. And your doctor should know that it is your desire that they wean you off of the medication. I'm saying this generically. I'm saying
Okay.
this generically. And so you want your doctor you want them to know what you're doing, and then you want them to wean you off of the medication, because what they usually say is you'll be on this medication for the rest of your life. But they say that because they know you're not going to change your diet. You're not going to change your diet. What we do is say the devil is a liar. We tell the doctor that the devil is a liar, and he says, uh-huh.
Right.
See you next month. See you in 3 months, because you are not going to stop. And I told him, I said, why are you removing her gallbladder? I said, when it's the gallstones that are the problem, why is it that you're removing the bladder? He said, because we know she's just going to be back in here in 2 months and we're going to have to remove it anyway. He said, so when we remove the stones, we just remove the bladder, the
Wow.
gallbladder. Yeah.
Wow. That's deep, guys. That's deep. Nikki has a question. She says, Dr. Hill, is grounding a good practice?
Absolutely.
What is grounding?
Grounding is getting back in touch with the land. Now, you may not remember this. When I was a kid, we never wore shoes. We ran around on the dirt, in the grass, out in the field, down the road with bare feet. And so healing comes out of the soil. Now, remember that that's where your minerals are. The minerals that come up in your vegetables, they come from that soil. And it is the topsoil that historically has been the soil that is the most nutrient dense. And I always say that that's why God used the topsoil or the dust of the ground, because it was the most nutrient dense. And so when we ran around in that dirt, on the ground, in the grass, all of that, we didn't have all of these because we had an immunity.
Mm-hmm.
So we got that's where we got our immunity and all this, that, and the other. So grounding is excellent, and it's best to do it at the first, the dawning of the day, and at sundown. And that's because it regulates, or it sets your circadian rhythm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm particular about my feet getting dirty, so I'm not sure about that walking. Now,
See,
let me.
that's wrong. That's right there. That's what's wrong with
Well, but then you have to understand is that I didn't grow up in that era, so it's not going to come natural for me to walk out barefoot. If I see somebody walking, I'm like, okay, that's another story. Anyway,
you have to make sure it's not with the dogs where they have, their territory. You want to find you a clean spot and always go there, because just walking around, and they spray this grass. They
that's okay. I'm only 58, so I would have to 58 this year. So I wasn't born back when you was born. Y'all,
well,
that would come naturally to y'all. I would have to like get into that.
well,
Let me read some.
let me say it this way. Go out in the park where there is no other, go out in like the field and everything where flowers grow and trees grow and all that kind of stuff, where they don't spray and dogs don't do their business and all of that. Go hug a tree.
She's so nice, y'all. Okay, Elder McGee, I see that you've jumped in here. I hope you can send me what I asked you for. Nikki says, I realize my chicken's ground as well as other animals. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, Apostle Miles, sorry. She said, we wore shoes sometimes, but was barefoot a lot in the dirt.
Mhm.
Nikki says she walks barefoot in her garden area. Well,
See,
yeah, now that I could see. I could see because you wouldn't want to bring them shoes and mess with you. Yeah.
you got issues. You got issues.
Okay.
That's
Apostle, oh, I read that already. Janice says this has been a very informative show. Thank you, Dr. Hill.
yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it. She always brings good stuff for us. Apostle Val said we used to eat dirt, and my mother did too. God
Yeah.
bless
Oh
y'all
yeah.
hearts and all y'all parts.
I
God
went
bless you.
across the street to the little hill and dug out that red dirt and ate it and enjoyed it.
Right. Okay. All right. So, Dr. Hill, you want to wrap us up with anything? Was there anything that you didn't get to that you wanted to tell us on today?
Yes.
Okay.
I really want to say when you see that stuff pop up on social media, don't do it. Don't do it.
Mm,
Food is medicine. Food is not for your entertainment. Food is not, um, it's not a frivolous thing.
right.
And you have to know that sometimes your condition, sometimes the condition and the problem that you're having, it is because you are mishandling
Mm,
God's medicine. We mishandle it because we only eat that we like. I like for Dr. Hunt to tell that story about uh, the Brussels sprouts and string beans. That's the nastiest stuff I have ever tasted. Matter of fact, I wouldn't drink it myself. But I gave it to him because it's a natural insulin, and that's what he needed to go on that 21-day day and night fast. And that is how you're supposed to use food.
wow.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Like dates.
Mm-hmm.
Dates. I use dates anytime I want something sweet, whether I'm doing tea or whatever I'm doing. I put my dates in it because dates are very sweet. And so, but the first thing we do is we reach for sugar, this stripped down white sugar. And unfortunately, what they're telling us now, I'm looking because I'm looking like I'm getting dark, so something just went off. Oh, but it's okay.
Okay.
We're the what they're telling us now is that sugar erases the memory of the cells. And
Mm,
so the cells, each cell in the body does have a memory because if it didn't, it wouldn't repair itself. It wouldn't be able to repair itself. Your fingernail, almost all of us have had lost a fingernail at some time. Well, that fingernail, um, it had a memory. That's why it grew back a fingernail instead of a toenail or eyelash. And every cell in the body, it has memory. And they're saying, scientists are saying, all the way back to birth, before birth, all the way back, it has a memory, all the way back to the egg and the sperm. Now think about that 40 weeks, that 40 weeks of production, that 40 weeks of maturation, or as the body going from egg and sperm all the way to a baby. All of that has how did the body know to when we looked like a amphibian, when we were in the form of that looked like an amphibian, didn't even look human.
mm-hmm.
Okay. And when our fingers were webbed, our
Mm,
fingers and our toes were webbed. Okay. How did your body know to get rid of that webbing in between your fingers and
Wow.
toes?
That's deep.
And what happened to that extra material, all of that extra skin and cells and whatever that was in there? And
Yeah,
so,
looking at my hands.
yeah,
Okay, go ahead.
think about it. Um, all of that is memory. All of that is instructions, and it didn't go away. It just transitioned, and that's how the body heals itself. All of that happened those 40 weeks was autophagy. It was
Wow.
autophagy, and now we're where when we fast and all of that, that's what is operating now, along with the circadian rhythm. And so it is the food that we eat that activates it or switches the genes off so that we become sick and dying.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Mm. This is some good stuff. I hope you guys have been taking this in. Some good stuff. Make you think. She always come on here making us think. Always. But that's what she's supposed to do. Cheryl says, I sure wish they would have told me to change my diet. I would have welcomed the vegetables. Never told or suggested diet would have thinned the blood.
They don't know that. You're talking about doctors who know nothing about nutrition and know nothing about the food that you're eating.
Mm.
So you're going to the wrong place. And I'm not telling anyone not to go to doctors, because you need to know what's wrong with you, and that's you need to find that out.
Right.
But the difficulty is your problem is a knife and fork,
Mm.
and you're going to where they're going to use suturing. They're going to use a scalpel and some radiation and some whatever. And so they can't tell you what they don't know. And a doctor said to me, I said, how come you didn't something? I said something to him pretty much close to what you said. And he said to me, he said, I don't know nothing about that. That's why I got a dietitian. And I'm thinking to myself, your dietitian doesn't know any more than what you know.
Wow.
And so,
Wow.
you know,
Okay. Cheryl, Dr. Hill is always available. There's her website, mofaithns.com. You can always reach out to her. She has consultations. I'm telling you, she's a wealth of information. And it's not too late, for whatever it is that you're dealing with. So, and this is again why we bring her on, so that she can help to address our health and our wellness. I'm going to read a few more comments before we get out of here on today. Nikki says, I heard about that red Mississippi dirt. She said her brother dated a woman who I guess she ate the dirt and he didn't like her anymore. That was pretty good. I probably should have left that for the last comment. That was pretty good. Yeah. I heard about red Mississippi dirt too, Nikki. Possum Mouse says, when juicing your rainbow salad, can you cut up an apple in the salad?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
So, apple is universal, and dark leafy greens are universal, and you can switch them back and forth.
Beautiful. Hopefully that answered your question. Nikki says, Dr. Hill is a hidden library. Yes, she is. And Apostle Mouse says she's wealthy with good information. Totally agree. Totally agree. Listen, guys, if you're just now joining us, you have missed the show. We are exiting on today. But what you can do, you can always go back and rewind. I think I did see my cousin mention that she's going to come back and she may be at work. And I understand that. She'll have to check the replay for sure later on. So you're more than welcome to do that. If you have been here the entire time and you want to go back and listen to it, you are more than welcome. You can catch it on my Facebook, Annette Get Caught in the Net, YouTube, Get Caught in the Net, Instagram. I think it goes away after the live feed goes down, but you still have those other two avenues. So make sure you do that, and I will appreciate it. So thank you all so much for joining us, for hopping in, your comments. And hey, You're welcome, sweetie. She said, thanks for tagging. You're so welcome. You know, I love you, girl. I got you. I got you. I got you. All right. We're going to get out of here next week. We, of course, will not have health and wellness because we moved her up a week. But just stay tuned for what we will have next. Mind, Body, and Soul is moving forward. I'm still working on these other projects, making progress. And I got some things coming down the pipe. Y'all going to be like, is that Annette? Y'all let me stop. but real for real though, yeah, it will be coming. So I'm just grateful to God and what he's doing, and the blessings. He's got so many blessings that he's just shelling out, and this is all for his glory, because he wants his glory to be revealed. And I just thank God. Listen, if you haven't gotten your book, Sash Talk, y'all better get that book now. Let me tell y'all, Surviving a Silence Heartbeat. The Lord just blessed us to win a second award, and this is an international award, book award. So that's why I say two-time author. Let me do a little plugging in my own book here. I don't know how that works. I think that's better that way. Anyway, you guys can go to my website. I know some of y'all are not using Amazon, and that's fine. But y'all can go to my website and get contentnetradio.com. You see it at the bottom. If you haven't received your own book, make sure you do that. Make sure you purchase it, because there are some other projects that are coming out that's connected to the book. And so you want to be able to get the book and then proceed further to everything else that God is setting up for us. All right. So I'm going to get out of here. I'll talk a lot. Let me play my outro. Thank you again, Dr. Hill. We appreciate you. And as always, we thank God for you and what he's doing through you. So I'm gonna read this last comment on the way out. Apostle Miles says she want her hair to grow like yours, Dr. Hill. Come on. I just told her how pretty it was. I love it. I love it. God is blessing her. So gotta keep my eye on Dr. Hill. What'd you say?
It's the resale, Apostle Miles. It's the
Hey. All right. I love it. I love it. Beautiful. All right. Go to MoPhaith, MoPhethns.com to connect further with Dr. Hill. Thank you again. We'll see you guys soon. Take care and don't wait. Come on and get caught in
a net with